The envelope was cream-colored. Expensive. The kind of wedding invitation that whispered money before you even opened it. I stood in my cramped studio apartment, still in my Walmart vest from my shift, staring at the embossed letters. Mr. and Mrs. Richard Castellano request the honor of your presence at the marriage of their son, Anthony James, to Miss Victoria Wellington. Below, in my mother's handwriting, Marina, so excited for you to be there. Your brother's big day. I almost laughed. My brother's big day, funded by my future. The phone rang before I could process the rage fully. Mom, did you get it? Isn't it gorgeous? Victoria's family insisted on the premium cardstock. It's beautiful, I said flatly. Must have been expensive. Oh, honey, don't worry about that. We've got it covered. We've got it covered, with my college fund. The $80,000 my grandmother had left specifically for my education, that my parents had safeguarded since I was 8. About that, Mom, when do I get access to my college fund? I need to pay for next semester. Oh, the pause told me everything. Marina, sweetheart, about that, you spent it, we borrowed from it, for the wedding. You know how important this is for Anthony. Victoria's family has connections. This could set him up for life. You spent my college fund on Anthony's wedding? Not all of it. As if that made it better. There's still about $3,000 left. $3,000 from $80,000. Marina, sweetheart, family helps family. You understand. I hung up. Family helps family, the motto that had defined my entire childhood. When Anthony needed someone to watch him after school, family helped family. When he needed help with homework, family helped family. When he needed his room cleaned, his laundry done, his meals cooked while mom worked double shifts and dad drove trucks, family helped family. Always me helping, always family taking. I sat on my bed, the same twin mattress I'd had since I was 12, and did something I'd never done before. I calculated every hour of babysitting from the time I was 10 until Anthony left for college at 18, every homework session, every meal cooked, every soccer practice I'd driven him to once I got my license, every night I'd stayed up with him when he was sick while our parents worked. I'd kept journals since I was young, a habit born of loneliness. Now those journals became evidence, dates, times, hours worked while my childhood disappeared into Anthony's needs. The numbers were staggering. Babysitting, 3 hours per day after school, 5 days a week, 36 weeks per year, for 8 years. Summer care, 8 hours per day, 5 days a week, 10 weeks per summer, for 8 years. Weekend sports, 6 hours per Saturday, 30 weeks per year, for 6 years. Homework help, 2 hours per day, 5 days a week, 36 weeks per year, for 8 years. Housework, 2 hours per day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks per year, for 8 years. The total came to 15,904 hours. At minimum wage, which had been $7.25 when I started and was now $15, the average came to $11.13 per hour. $176,961.52. I stared at the number, then I added interest, 3% annually, compounded, because that's what my college fund would have earned sitting in even a basic savings account. $197,347.88. But I was feeling generous. I'd only charge them for what they stole. $97,000, the amount they'd taken from my college fund, plus a modest fee for my services. I drafted the invoice on my laptop, professional and itemized, every category of labor, every hour accounted for, cross-referenced with my journal entries. At the bottom, in bold, amount due, $97,000. Payment due, within 30 days. Late fees will apply. I printed it at the library, put it in a manila envelope, and mailed it certified to my parents' house. Then I waited. The call came at 6 a.m. 3 days later. Marina Louise Castellano, what is the meaning of this? Good morning to you too, Dad. This invoice, for babysitting? Are you out of your mind? Family helps family, remember? I helped for 18 years. Now I need help paying for college since you gave my fund to Anthony. We didn't give it to him. We invested in his future. And what about my future? You're being ridiculous. Children don't invoice their parents. Parents don't steal their children's inheritance. We didn't steal. Grandma left that money for my education. You spent it on ice sculptures and a chocolate fountain. That's theft. You ungrateful. I hung up. The next call was from Anthony. Marina, what the hell? Mom's crying. Dad's threatening to disown you. What's this about an invoice? Ask them about my college fund. What college fund? Of course they hadn't told him. The $80,000 grandma left for my education. They spent it on your wedding. Silence. Then, they said Victoria's parents were paying. They lied. Marina, I didn't know. Would it have mattered? Would you have said no to the country club venue, the designer dress, the 7-course meal? His silence was answer enough. Congratulations on your wedding, Anthony. I won't be attending. The certified letter from their lawyer arrived 2 weeks later. Lots of legal words that boiled down to, "This is ridiculous. Stop it." I'd expected this. I'd prepared. My response went through my own lawyer, legal aid, but still a lawyer. We filed in small claims court. The maximum in our state was $10,000, but it would make my point. The invoice was evidence. My journals were evidence. The bank statements showing my college fund depleted were evidence. But the real evidence was the text message my mother had sent me after I'd invoiced them. You want to act like an employee instead of family? Fine, but employees can be fired. Don't come crying to us when you need help. My lawyer had smiled when she saw that. They just admitted to an employment relationship. The courtroom was smaller than I'd expected. Judge Harrison looked tired, like she'd seen every family drama imaginable. My parents sat with their lawyer, an expensive-looking man in a shinier suit than anything I'd ever owned. Your Honor, their lawyer began, this is clearly a frivolous lawsuit. Children have obligations to help their families. My clients provided food, shelter, clothing, while requiring an unpaid minor to provide extensive childcare and household services. My lawyer interrupted, services that directly prevented Miss Castellano from pursuing after-school employment that could have funded her education. She was helping with her brother. That's what families do. Is it also what families do to take money specifically left for one child's education and spend it on another child's wedding? My lawyer asked. The judge raised an eyebrow. Is that true? My parents' lawyer shuffled papers. The funds were in my client's control. They had discretion. The will specifically designated those funds for Marina Castellano's education. My lawyer provided the document. The parents were trustees, not beneficiaries. Your Honor, I stood, ignoring my lawyer's hand on my arm. I'm not asking for every hour I spent helping raise my brother. I'm not asking for the childhood I lost. I'm asking for the money that was left to me, that was meant for my future, that they took without asking or telling me until it was gone. Miss Castellano, please sit. They told me family helps family, but it was only ever me helping them. When I needed help, when I needed my college fund, they'd already given it away. I invoiced them because I wanted them to see, itemized, everything I'd done, everything they'd taken for granted, everything they felt entitled to. Judge Harrison looked at my parents. Do you deny taking the college fund? We used it for family expenses. Yes or no? Did you take money designated for your daughter's education and use it for your son's wedding? My mother started crying. My father's face went red. Yes, but I've heard enough. Judge Harrison turned to me. Miss Castellano, while I sympathize with your situation, I cannot award unpaid wages for family household duties performed as a minor. My heart sank. However, she continued, the misappropriation of educational funds is another matter. While this court's jurisdiction is limited to $10,000, I strongly suggest you pursue the full amount in civil court. For today, I'm awarding the maximum this court can provide, $10,000 to Ms. Castellano, plus court costs. Your Honor, their lawyer stood. This sets a dangerous precedent. The dangerous precedent was taking money meant for one child and giving it to another. The dangerous precedent was parentifying a 10-year-old and then acting shocked when she presents a bill. Pay your daughter, Mr. and Mrs. Castellano. Outside the courthouse, my parents caught up to me. Marina, please, let's talk about this. We can talk after you pay me. You're destroying this family. No, Mom, I'm just refusing to be the foundation you stand on anymore. What about Anthony's wedding? What about my education? They paid the $10,000. Grudgingly, furiously, but they paid. I used it for summer classes at community college. It wasn't $80,000, but it was a start. The wedding happened without me. The photos on Facebook showed ice sculptures and chocolate fountains and Anthony looking happy in his designer tux. Victoria's dress probably cost more than my annual salary. I noticed something else in the photos, my cousin Lisa in the background, running after Anthony's friends' kids, 15 years old, missing her own homecoming to babysit at the wedding. I sent her a private message, start keeping track of your hours, document everything, and don't let them near your college fund. She responded immediately, they already spent it on the wedding, said family helps family, some lessons are expensive, others are inherited. I sent her my lawyer's number. 6 months later, Anthony called, Marina, Victoria's pregnant, we're hoping, well, we need help with childcare. Mom said you were always so good with kids. Congratulations, I said. I charge $20 an hour, $25 for evenings and weekends. References available upon request. Marina, come on, we're family. Exactly. And this family pays for services rendered. Invoice monthly, due within 30 days. Would you like to discuss my rates? He hung up. Mom called next. You've made your point. When are you going to stop punishing us? I'm not punishing you. I'm valuing myself the way you taught me to, as labor to be used. You set the terms. I'm just following them. We're your parents, and I was your daughter, not your employee, not your built-in babysitter, not your backup fund, your daughter. But you spent 18 years teaching me that meant nothing compared to what I could do for Anthony. We love you both equally. You spent my college fund on his wedding. That's not equal. That's not even close. What do you want from us? Nothing anymore. That's the point. For the first time in my life, I want nothing from you. And it's terrifying you because you've never had to consider what you could offer me beyond demands. 3 years later, I graduated with my nursing degree, paid for with loans, grants, and long overnight shifts. My parents weren't invited to the ceremony. Anthony's marriage lasted 18 months. The divorce was messy, expensive, public. The country club venue didn't seem so important then. The ice sculptures had long since melted. He moved back home, into his childhood room, while Victoria kept the house and the baby. Mom called one last time. Anthony needs help with child support. Family helps. Don't. I cut her off. Don't you dare finish that sentence. You're doing well now. You could help. I could, but I won't. Not because I'm cruel, but because I already gave 18 years of help. I've hit my lifetime limit. We're getting older. Marina, someday we'll need. Hourly rates for elder care start at $25. I can recommend agencies if you'd prefer someone else. You really hate us that much? I don't hate you. I just learned from you. Services rendered require payment due. You taught me that when you put a price tag on my future. I'm just honoring your teachings. I hung up and looked around my apartment. Not cramped anymore. I'd moved up in the world. Diploma on the wall, bought with my own money. Shift schedule on the fridge. Every hour accounted for and compensated. On my desk, framed, the original invoice I'd sent my parents. A reminder that family helps family, but help has value, and value demands recognition. $97,000, plus interest. Some debts can't be paid in money, others shouldn't be paid at all. But sending that invoice? Making them see me not as free labor but as a person with worth? That was priceless. And the judge agreeing? That was justice. Family helps family, but first, family has to see you as family. Not as an invoice waiting to be paid. Though sometimes, you have to send the invoice to be seen at all. $97,000. Every penny earned, every hour stolen, every lesson learned. Family helps family? Fine. But this family member charges market rate.